Hey there, welcome to Hanging Out on Monday. We've got our core group here, and Jay, of course.
I'm
Jay's
not flying
joining us.
today.
We've got Bill in Boston. We've got John in Boston. We've got Eric,
Hey.
who's pretty close to Boston.
Yeah.
We've got Kevin in Ohio, Buddy in Chicagoland, and me in Milwaukee. Hello, everybody. This show is brought to you by DJ Event Planner. Please check out all of our sponsors, as well as DJ Event Planner down here in the description of this video on YouTube. Thank you, DJ Event Planner, for being one of our proud channel sponsors. We appreciate that. We have a show topic tonight that Boston John is going to lead us on. But before we did that, I wanted to throw a DJ story out there. And I'm going to make it brief and bear with me because it is a DJ story. There was a little car show tonight at the local Chick-fil-A. And I normally, like, when I'm driving the car, I've got a 65 Mustang, for those of you who don't know. I just go to cruise nights. I don't enter shows or anything like that. But it was a charity thing, so I entered the show, and there was some beautiful stuff there. But there was no music. It was a Chick-fil-A parking lot, and it was quiet. And it was kind of odd, because usually as a cruise night or a car show, you've got something going on in the background. I'm not always a fan of what they're playing, but there's something going on. So, at the end of the show, for some weird-ass reason, and I'm still not sure why, I took second place, which is really weird because I've never won anything, ever, trophy. And I always said if I ever win a trophy, I did something wrong. And somehow I beat out an $800,000 Roadrunner Superbird. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So anyway, as I'm meeting the owner of the Chick-fil-A, who's very nice, and her husband, who I had met before, I said, hey, look, by the way, you know who I am. You've got my number. I'm a DJ, and it was really quiet here. How would you guys like some music next time you do this? I'm like, yeah. So next time around, I'm going to be providing music there. And
Nice.
as well as cruising in, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've wanted to be able to put some Maui 5 Go's in the trunk of the car and just go show the car and DJ out of the trunk, basically. Mm-hmm. I'd be able to do with a tablet and a battery-powered Maui 5 Go, no problem. Even, throw a mic on there if they need it for announcements or whatever. But yeah, I just took the opportunity. I didn't want to push it, but since I was already talking to him, I took that opportunity to plant that seed. So it sounds like I'll be there next year doing music. So,
Sounds great.
Fabulous.
Quick DJ story.
Remember,
that
there's
just happened.
so many things about minor steps, Brian. Just take the little step, and the little step brings you to the next big step.
Well, there are those people out there who tell everyone they're a DJ who they meet and hand them a card. I know those people. And I mean, for some reason, I just can't be that guy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lead with that.
Yeah.
By the way,
I'm a malpractice lawyer. Here's my card. They're like, oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a DJ. Here's my card. Waitress at the table. Hey, we're DJs. Here's my card. That's so weird. I don't know, but that felt like a natural opportunity to mention it.
Honestly, Brian, one of my biggest contracts right now, I started with doing just drape. Now I'm doing everything they have for AV.
It snowballs.
Everything. It's just a little step.
I did a lighting job this weekend, and I'm afraid I'm going to get more lighting jobs from it.
I know, but
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
That looked awesome.
And it was great.
It really
That looked
nice.
fabulous. That was incredible.
And that was just a lighting job, and it was for quinceañera, but the photographer and the video person were so impressed. It was all flicker free, and I was working with them on colors and things. They loved me. They kept coming up and thanking me, and they wanted all my contact information because they want to work with me again. So you take the opportunity.
But it's scary how much back of the house a word called flicker is bad.
Yeah.
And you're flicker free. That is.
If you understand that.
I do.
No, but I mean, as a DJ, if you understand that and you can explain that to people you're working with, it could be to your benefit. So, but anyway, that's not what the show's about tonight. I just wanted to mention that thing.
Nice job.
John has a really interesting topic tonight, and I wanted to lead us on it.
I think it's going to be interesting, and it's not something you see a lot of print on the internet or in publications about. It's very much word of mouth. So to put this out there, we've done shows before that we talk about the quick mix and the transitions, how to jump from a song to a song. So there's this technique that's called wordplay. Okay, so basically, as the song is playing, something will come along, a catchphrase or part of the song that you'll recognize the structure of the words that it appears in another song similarly or exactly, for example. Sometimes it's a word, sometimes it's a phrase. Usually it's something that's like a call to action, like jump or let's go or yeah or something. And what you'll be doing is you'll be playing the song and you'll hear this like, oh, I know that phrase from another song. So maybe you put a hot cue on that so that the next time you're playing the song, if you want to get out faster, you start the other song from that wordplay or bring yourself into another song. You advance the music. It's nice if they match in key. It's nice if they match on beat, but they don't always have to. And it just changes the energy and the people in the room are usually pretty receptive to it.
Well, we should just give some quick examples. So
I typed out a bunch, so yeah, we can go around. And as I said, it did kind of start with you because you used to have this triple shout oldie trifecta where you would play twist, and shout,
and shout. Yeah.
So it's kind of doing the same thing,
right?
Whereas it's like if you just say, "Come on, let's do the twist," and then bump, 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 then you come into twist and shout, and then you take it out into shouts. It's kind of a same way that you're doing that structure of wordplay.
Right.
But there's 3 creative ones. Some that we've been doing that are with some of the newer songs. Some of these here are older. But I figured we could just kind of go around the room, and if anyone had certain mixes that they like 2 specific songs to put together because there was some sort of phrase connection, we'd get our hands a little dirty here and expose some of these because there's really nothing in print. There's a couple of Reddit pages that talk about these, but there's really not much out there. So we'll be pioneers.
Reddit scares me, by the way.
I
don't know why, but it does. I'm sorry, side note.
Oh, that's okay. So this came from the DJs like, DJ Scribble and Scratch Bastard and DJ AM used to be notorious for these rock rap mashups where the stuff that doesn't seem like it would go together kind of goes together. So I pulled a few. I can give us just a couple just to give us a taste, and then maybe something comes to mind because this you kind of have to know it exists. So that when you start the song, you're already bringing up the next song because you've got a little skit that goes with this, so to speak. And it gets to show off your little skills. So before the show, we were just a couple of us in here. We're talking like, so if you're playing "Shake That Thing," Miss da 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 da, it's gonna be a little tough because we can't play the sound samples because we're on YouTube, for example. But for the same tempo, and if you're playing that word "Shake That Thing" and you use that,
are you talking about Sean Paul? Get Busy?
Yeah, Sean Paul's Get Busy.
Okay.
So then from that, if you can take that down to an a cappella or a stripped back part of the song, you can start bringing in Harry Belafonte's "Shake Senora" behind it.
Okay.
And he starts off with "Shake, Shake." So you're coming out of "Shake, Shake" and you're going into "Shake, Shake," but not "Shake Shack."
Or the opposite. You can do the other way with it too.
Either direction. So if you're coming out of oldies and you want to make it modern, you can jump from the 50s to the 80s. So I'll get about 20 examples here, but I don't want to just monologue and read it. If anybody has an idea of a song, Bill and I kind of stumbled on one from the last gig. If you want to tell them this one, this is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
So Sean coming out of Sean
Paul. That was going to be mine. Yes. But
Pitbull,
1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go into 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes.
So it's Calle Ocho. And you let the song pretty much get to the end. And on the last 1, 2, 3, 4, you start from the second 5, 6, 7, 8 of Chappelle Rollins Hot to Go. So you basically complete the count of 1 through 8 using the 2 different songs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just hard drop 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And off you go with something that's a brand new song. So the
I had fun with that one.
You mentioned that one last night, and I was also thinking that you could use one of those songs that start with 1, 2, 3, 4. And the one that came to mind was "I Saw Her Standing There" by the Beatles.
Sure, that's got 4 counts in.
3, 4.
Yep. Gloria Stefan, Miami Sound Machine, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, baby. So you let me.
Yeah.
You could take.
He only goes to 3, though, right?
I mean, another big one is "The Roof Is on Fire." How many times has that been used in so many carryovers? The roof.
Okay.
Roof is on fire. And
somebody call 911. So maybe you come in with fireball or fire burning behind it because it would kind of tie
fire burning. Yeah.
Eric, do you have any of those?
Go to the next guy. I'm thinking.
Okay, take a minute.
This is the next guy.
I want to make it good. Yeah.
This is a tough category.
You will.
One that I used to do a long time ago, and I did it in a mega mix one time too that I recorded. "Gonna Make You Sweat" by CNC Music Factory. There's that bit in the last I guess, the reprise of the chorus where she says, "Come on, let's sweat, baby." And I used to do, "Come on, let's Vogue," and I would come in on Vogue.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
When those two songs were relevant.
that
I
rocks.
would do those. That was my wordplay on that. And it was
That's
a
funny.
slam mix. Come on, let's
That's a
Vogue.
good
Dun,
one.
dun, dun,
That sounds good
dun.
because that's got the energy too. Because the other
Yeah.
song about sweat is you make you sweat la 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 long. You know, you could take
Right. You could do the inner.
if you're if so yours is come on let's sweat baby, the music
Yeah.
take control. I've been watching you la 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 long, and then you come in on the sweat line, and then you're in
Sure.
into
Come on, let's Vogue. Yeah.
This
I like
is
Vogue.
kind of on the same line.
Sure.
Like where John said you would have like a skit you would do, right?
Mhm.
And I would do Holiday Madonna, and I would do it with Holiday Rap DJ Shred.
Right.
And I would have them both do one verse.
Sure.
And you'd have to start it like perfectly in the headphones. I'd
Sure.
start for Madonna, and you'd have to get it perfect. So when she was done that verse, you'd hear him coming in with because he had that extra boom, boom, with the holiday music, and then he'd start.
Right.
His break, I go back into Madonna with her version.
Right.
It's probably not the same thing you guys are talking about. Like
Well,
No,
it's
that's
similar.
perfect. That's the idea. It's the mix through
it
of
worked out great.
similar.
You could probably do something very similar with "Best of My Love Emotions" and "Little Boo Thing."
Mhm.
Yeah.
You go back and
that's the
forth.
same idea because musically those two are similar. They
They're
don't
the
share
same.
lyrics.
Except
But
for a
it's-
backbeat, maybe a redrum on "Little Boo Thing," but yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah,
It's
they keep
funny.
the band-
One of the great remixes I have is Push It into Shook Me All Night Long. As much as they're this,
Oh, there.
it's that, you get that, and then it's like a ba, 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 and it's just that kind of, it's not the words, it's the rhythm of the music that blends together really well.
Same BPM anyway.
This is more like what I think John's talking about. It's not so important that you're doing this with beat mixing. It's more important that you're making
Right.
the words work together. So you can do tempo changes and key
Like
changes.
Slam
with this.
too.
But
Yeah.
the words, it's wordplay. They're making sense together. And I think whenever you're DJing, and this is just my opinion on this, other people will vary on this. But whenever you're DJing, I think when you have more than one trick up your sleeve for the night, it's a good thing. So if you're the person who beat mixes all
100%.
night, that's fine. If you're the person who slam mixes all night, that's fine. If you're the person who does wordplay all night, that's fine. But I think it's cool to do a variety of these things so you're not predictable and you're constantly mixing things up in a different way. So the audience isn't expecting it. The wordplay, I think, is a really cool alternative tool that you could put in your box and throw it out there once in a while. Maybe you don't do it all night, but you do it
once in a while, like you said.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about this until I think it was last year, or it might have been the year before. They all kind of ran together. You'd be at the end of Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You," and it was around this time of the year. And it was, "I will always love." Before she hits that last word, you started Mariah Carey's "You" and "All I Want for Christmas," and now all of a sudden you're in a different song. Or if you stick to you can even come in with Soldier Boy if you want to. You with
I tried that.
I always love you, dude. That
I
would be
tried
hilarious.
that in the middle of July, John. It didn't work.
John and I got a great compliment the other night, and it was a wedding we had done. And the bartender turned around and says, "I always know where a wedding is based on what they're playing for songs." And he turned around and said, "You and John, I had no idea where this wedding was."
You know why? Because
That was
you
a
have to be
huge
predictable. That's
When
why
I'm
I'm
thinking
tell-
about this, I want to start Soldier Boy off with that every time. I'm just going to come in on the "and you will always love you." That's going to be, I'm going to record that and I'm going to use it. It'll be hilarious.
Well, these are the things you forget about, and it helps if the vocal section's a cappella or it's kind of stripped back because it really stands out. It really punches through.
Why do I have a feeling we're going to hear this at the end of the show?
Oh, I
It would be great if we could do the audio.
Brian
clips.
is
Yes.
going to disappear for 5 minutes. And then
I'm waiting for Brad to come into this. Where are you, Brad?
Where is Brad?
Brad's got some ideas, I'm sure, and I know Jay's got a couple too, and Buddy.
No, I'm thinking about Buddy. I'm thinking about Jay. I'm thinking about Kevin. Do you guys have anything on
Jay
this?
looks deep in thought.
Yeah,
So,
Jay's like,
John, one of the
crap,
ones
I
that
wasn't
I've been
prepared
using.
for this. So Buddy, you got something? You ever done anything like this? The
See,
wordplay?
Not so much. It's wordplay, but it's not wordplay. It's more music play.
Mhm.
I think a little differently.
Okay.
One of the ones I again, depends on the crowd and stuff like that. But
Of course, it always does.
Chicago Street Player into Bucketheads, The Bomb,
Right.
and then into
Ooh.
Cagliocho.
Yeah,
Because you
those
have
are
the same
yeah.
rhythm, but you also have, Peter Cetera in two songs,
Right.
his voice, and then they borrow the rhythm into Cagliocho. So
Well,
depending
okay.
on the group and people, you get that kind of they sample it in there, and it's like you have that feel to everything. You can go into that, and then you can go to when it goes 1, 2, 3, and then go into another song 4,
Well,
5, 6.
75
You have the
Street-
same words.
75 Street Brazil is an instrumental, and then
Yes.
Pitbull rapped over it for Gaiocho.
Yeah,
It's kind of like the Black
I Know
Eyed
You Want
Peas
Me,
did
yeah.
the same thing with I Got a Feeling. There's a song out there that's I Got a Feeling, but not I Got a Feeling. And
yeah,
But,
Black Eyed Peas just did words on it and made a hit.
yeah.
But Bucketheads, and that's all that Street Player sample stuff, and that's fun.
Yeah, and that's every time when I think of stuff like that, that's kind of just like we were talking before.
Yeah.
Was taking Shabuzi and going tipsy into Shabuzi because it's the same song, and I have a little remix of Shabuzi that has the same backbeat, so it just goes in there. And I did it last night. Saturday night at the wedding I did, and they were really grooving on Shabuzi, and all of a sudden I dropped that in there. I was grooving on Tipsy, and then dropped in Shabuzi. They were just like losing themselves. They're like, "Oh my god, this is like," they didn't thought the two songs went together, and they're like, all of a sudden they're like out there, everyone's like just jamming, having fun. Then we went to Drake and a few other things, but it's one of the things when you could kind of do that kind of magic, like what we were talking about tonight. I feel that you take a crowd from the normal level of, hey, the song goes great, hey, that sounds great, to, oh my god, you just blow someone's mind.
Well, it's
do you have any
with these? I think if they're sing-alongs, it's going to be even more obvious what you've done, and it makes it more fun. If it's something where they're really paying attention to the lyrics of the song and you change it up, I mean, we could come up with all kinds of new ones, but it's just a different. It's an additional technique you could add to your toolbox. So maybe you do it once in a night. Maybe you find a new thing that you want to do all the time, whatever. Which I thought it was interesting. I was telling John.
Well, I think it's smart. I think it's very smart.
I was telling John last night that I remember when I got a copy of George Michael's Faith, I couldn't wait to use my pause record button on my tape deck for I Want Your Sex and Faith and Monkey, so I could make George Michael say, "So I gotta have sex with a monkey." It took me a while to do that, but I had to do it because I had to hear him say it.
That might be an
Wordplay.
Audacity project, yeah.
Nothing being matched together, but it was wordplay and it was hilarious to me.
But this is a family show, Brian.
These
We're not
were all
having
put on
sex
the
with
radio.
monkeys.
I'm telling you.
George
Jay,
has
why
done
are you
weird
so
things.
quiet tonight?
Man, Eric doesn't want bestiality in here. Wow.
I haven't heard your voice once tonight.
I'm letting the crowd go. I'm not
Oh,
a wordplay guy. I do
Okay.
I do the things that I stumble on. One of my big ones used to be after, our weddings are different out here. Sometimes you kill it for the cake cutting. So you've got to come back with like a slow song sometimes, at least years ago. I mean, I'm thinking it's probably been like 12, 13, 14 years since I did this, but I fell into a song called Collide by Howie Day.
Great
Yeah.
song.
And it would get the floor packed, but it has the same exact beat as in the club. So I would loop in the club in the beginning of it, and towards the middle end of Howie Day, I would slowly bring that in.
right. So
I
now
didn't grow up in the hip hop
Right.
world like a lot of you guys did, so
Wow.
wordplay has never been on my kind of radar. I've gone more for Howie Day with that. I used to do a Gasolina with Michael Franti.
I think you could have
Hey,
fun
hey.
with it. If
No.
you-
I think I would too. Like the biggest wordplay thing I do is
The response is,
Cyrus,
I've never done that
then
before, but it sounds
Britney.
interesting, guys.
No.
does.
It
Yeah.
does sound interesting. I'm just like, at this point, I have nothing to add.
It's okay.
Like, because I always do old new.
So
I'll give you one if you want one.
Tonight,
I would say use your Eminem. Go like, just lose it. Ha 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 ha. Just lose it, and have losing it build up underneath it, and then the I'm losing it
sure.
drop, and then you kind of get that.
I totally get the concept, and there are times that I'll try to make a mental note, like, shit, I could have totally just done this and this, but it's like I have a list of stuff in my head. I just haven't gone out of my way. I'm constantly throwing new tracks at events, so I'm never like, oh, this would so go with. Like, my big thing was to do the Britney drop into Miley Cyrus, or Miley Cyrus with then adding Britney.
And the Britney song is on.
Yeah, Britney song is on. Is
Britney
dan.
song.
Well, there you go.
Like,
That's
that
your
seemed
wordplay.
to work. That seemed to work.
There's several ways to
I'm
do it.
notorious for using "Turn Down for What" into Luke Bryan, "Country Girl Shake That for Me" with a loop. Now I'm doing it with
Dancing.
ABBA's "Dancing Queen."
Right.
For Britney, I
And
actually
it's
use
both
S&M.
jumping. I mean, I'm trying to go quicker. I'm cutting my mixes down a lot of late just to get more traction because I'm getting less dance time.
Yeah.
So I'm
You
trying
have
to get
the
people
way
to
your
leave
gigs are
and
structured.
go. I mean, I met with clients. I have 2 weddings this week, Friday, Saturday. They're both 4 to 10. Well, 4 to 10 is 4 to 4:30 ceremony, 4:30 to 5:30. One's 150, one's 80. By the time we get them in sat, it's going on 6. Dinner's till 7, 7:15. I'm getting them on the dance floor by like 7:45, 8. So I've realized I can't do 4 or 5 minute tracks anymore. I've got to start cutting down to the 2.5. And
So
now
doing hot
where
tracks.
I'm looking, there's a couple of people on Instagram I follow who do some amazing wordplay, like amazing, where even I'm like, damn, I didn't see that coming. So I've been liking their reels,
Mhm.
and I need to sit down sooner than later and go, all right, let me go back to my activity on Instagram. Ooh, this would be a good one. Let me at least put these tracks together.
It's just something to think
in a
about.
crate.
You know?
Oh no, I
something to
totally would
consider.
like to.
It's
No.
it's
And I think there's times it's when I watch people do it really well, and I don't mean this to sound out of line, but I think you'll get it. It's one of those skill sets that I respect, but I just kind of always looked at and said, I don't know if it fits for what I'm doing right now, but I agree with the more you can bring in the toolbox, the better off you are. 100%.
It's a bit like scratching. Like I said, if you get a scratch or two in the evening, great. But if you're scratching all night, it's annoying. So
That's
if you
right.
get a good, well-placed, like little baby scratch.
You got a full dance floor in front of you. Don't mess around with the BPMs.
And that's the thing. I think there's a time and a place to make drops.
Of course there is.
And I think sometimes
Element Hawthorne.
I think the only
when you want to flip
people
it,
go too far sometimes.
I think
and
the
they're
reason
look how good. I think it goes from serving the floor to serving the DJ.
Well, that's with anything that we do. That's with 4-bar, 8-bar beat mixing. That's with slam mixing. That's with scratching. That's with anything we do. If we do it in repetition, that's intro, verse, chorus out, intro, verse, chorus out, intro, verse, chorus out all night long. I think the audience probably would rather commit suicide than listen to that crap. You got to mix it up.
I think
just
they
like
get
listening
excited.
to the radio. Yeah.
When I used to, I haven't played it in a minute, but when I would do Kid Rock, his summer song, and
All
then
summer long.
drop in Skinnerd, but
Werewolves.
speed it up enough
You
where
can
it's
do
already a
Skinner.
hook in
You can
it.
do Werewolves of London.
It just, but I mean, I love Warren Zevon. I've never played Warren Zevon at a wedding. I've never had the crowd in front of me
I don't think I
that
have
I
ever.
felt comfortable.
But if it's a quick mix, it might be kind of fun, especially on Halloween. It'd be a lot of
Well,
fun.
that's it. See, even you realize
Yes.
it's specific to something.
Kind of
You
a
can get away
pocket
out
season.
here. You can get away with Sweet Home Alabama 7 days a week. Somebody in the crowd's going to be like, "Yoo-hoo!" Especially where I am, it's very country based.
Not
So
in a
yeah, I think there's a lot of that you can have a lot of fun with. And like I said, it's just it's a weird topic to me.
Well,
Because
okay,
I'm
I'll tell you
hearing
what.
guys talk about it, and I'm like, this all makes total sense to me.
It's
I've
all
just
about
never
perspective.
Looked at it.
It's all about
Totally.
perspective, and it's cool that you haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at it for a long time, so I have a suggestion. Since we are at time, why don't we go ahead and wrap the show?
Okay.
And after the show, I'll throw together some examples that are popping into my mind. See if you dig them or you don't. What
I
do you
did
think?
have one. I did have one for a homework assignment that I haven't tried yet, but they said it's probably one of the easiest ones to do. So I
Okay.
just like to lay it out there. You get a copy of Michael Jackson's "Working Day and Night." You got me working day and night. Loop that, working day and night, and drop in Kid Cudi "Day and Night" over that.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Oh,
Bring that and
I
bring
got
that
one
in.
more too.
And
I
that's
got
supposedly
Okay,
close. They're
you
both,
think
they're
of
both
one,
in the
Aaron?
120.
good homework assignment.
I thought of one
good,
more.
good.
Starships one more time into Daft Punk's one more time.
I've actually done that.
You have?
I took
Okay.
I took that.
See?
That's one of my
The
took
Nicki
it up
Minaj
another
tune.
DJ that I saw.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're doing
Well,
one more time, and you
let's
throw a
do
loop
this
in,
one
and
more
then you
time.
bring in one more
Right,
time,
right.
one more
You bring in
time,
Daft
one
Punk.
more.
That's the only thing I can. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this got me stumped because
No, it's a
What's-
good
what-
thinking.
That's
Yeah.
good. It's something to think about. And
Yeah.
that's what
It's
Monday
a
nights
good
are
one.
about. Throwing ideas out there and making you guys think.
I think the bigger challenge, and I don't want to take up much time, but to me, the bigger challenge is are these, and to John, I think it's a great homework assignment. I don't even know the song. Like, I've never played Working Night and Day or Day and Night.
Working Day and Night. It's
we
off
need
the
to
wall.
school Jay on some Michael Jackson.
We're playing that
which
after
we'll
class.
also do after the
guys,
show.
guys, it's less about schooling
No,
me and
it's
more
not.
about realizing I'm playing to the
No, it's
crowd
not
in
about
front of
school.
me.
exactly.
I'm not playing to show them what I can do.
Right. That's a little bit of a throwback song to pull out of
That's
nowhere and just
another
randomly
challenge.
drop.
That's a
Yeah,
is
challenge.
not a-
I got
This
2
is
hours.
not
I
a
can't
peacocking.
take a
This is-
swing and a miss sometimes.
Yeah,
Right.
this is not a
So
peacock.
that's the only
This is
thing.
just, yeah, it's just another
ideas,
tool in the
guys.
toolbox.
Just ideas. We're not preaching gospel here. We're just
No, I
Absolutely.
think
Trying to
I think in a club
make some
environment, in a
suggestions.
bar environment,
and you can
that
take
this
them or
is
leave
probably
them.
a skill set that would serve you really well. If you're at a bar, at a club, you're doing background, and you start mixing it up like this, doing wordplay, I think the audience can be like, "Holy jeez, we just thought this guy was doing background." He's-
Well,
like, I've got a couple of
again,
things
Jay,
coming up
I
where
think
could see
you're looking
fitting
at it as
better.
I'm a wordplay DJ. No, this is something you can do once in a while
Yeah.
to mix up your other transitions. It's kind of like the effect that you blow off once a night. You don't blow it off all night long. You blow it off a couple times a night. You hit the strobe a couple times a night. You hit the blinder a couple times a night. You don't do it all night long, but at the peak,
No, of
right,
course not.
you do it like one time or maybe two
And
times.
somebody felt that mix.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
couldn't do a whole
I'm
night
throwing
like
there. I don't know,
this.
just an idea.
Oh, you wouldn't. It's just something to,
Right.
like crisscross, jump around, jump in House of Pain, jump around. You're like, somehow you want to try to put those together because they carry the same kind of energy. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
when
that-
we're
that I
programming,
totally
think of
see.
it, you know,
Yeah. Something to think about.
it is.
All right.
Well, thank you.
We
Thank
are-
you for entertaining that. So